So we bought this house 5 years ago. Wow, I can't believe it's been 5 years. But not long after we bought the house, we put in this wood stove to help with heat, obviously, but also especially when the power goes out. But we've got a problem. This heats up this living room beautifully, but it doesn't get into the back at all. So I'm going to cut a big hole in the wall. Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free. We love this stove. It does a great job. When we bought it, this is a wood burning stove. And when we bought it, there were actually a lot of people who said, well, why didn't you get a pellet stove? It's a lot easier to use. But here's the thing. We bought it obviously to help heat the house and reduce our electricity bill in the winter because we have an electric HVAC system for heat. But the main reason we bought it is so that we have heat when the power goes out. And when the power goes out, I don't know completely how pellet stoves work, but I think it takes electricity to be able to feed the pellets in. I might be wrong there. But the main thing is pellet stoves, you have to buy the pellets. I didn't want to be buying anything. If the economy crashes and they're not available, you're out of luck. With this, I could just go out into the woods and cut wood. And so that's what we wanted, completely self-sufficient. And it works really well, like I said. But here's the problem. In this living room, which is a fairly small room, I tried to locate this centrally as best as I could in the house. It could have been over there in the corner or something like that. I put it here because it's more central. But here in the living room, when this is on, it gets to be like 90 degrees in here. It's unreal. So hot you want to open all the windows. But even if I don't open the windows, it's like 90 degrees in here. Right around the corner there is the kitchen, and it's probably 70 degrees in there or 75 in there. And then if you go down the hallway to the bedrooms, it's like 60 down there. So it would definitely, keep us from freezing in the winter. But I've been figuring a way to get some of the heat back further into the house. I thought about maybe getting a little exhaust fan to put up in the corner or something like that to blow that way. But I don't know that would be all that effective because it would just be small. Any bigger, we wouldn't get through. Also, it takes electricity. So if the power goes out, it's still not going to work. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to cut a big hole in the wall right here. And the heat will come up from here, right through that hole and up into the kitchen. And hopefully from there, it'll migrate down the hallway a little bit easier toward the bedrooms. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. Now, I'm not going to explain everything ahead of time. I'll just explain it as I go. But I'm going to cut a hole here. It'll be just above the heat shield, and it'll be level with this, and it'll come through here into the kitchen, right in here. I'm actually going to start on this side because it has better access, not as much stuff in my way. It'll be easier for me to get to it. Now the heat shield is the stove. The heat shield is right here against the wall. I'm going to start this hole several inches above the top of the heat shield, right about there. So I'm going to transfer that around to the other side, figure out exactly where I want it. And then draw my line here using a level for the bottom of the hole. Okay. So there's my line right there. It's kind of light. Now I have several concerns here as I cut into this. One is electrical wires that may be back inside of there. I certainly don't want to cut them. We have a blank one here. That was a receptacle. I'm not sure why it's blank. There's another one here. That was actually a thermostat for the original electric baseboard heat. That electric baseboard heat has been removed, and as far as I know, that's all dead. The box was still there, so I put a cover on it. So as I cut into this, I'm going to have to just cut a couple of small holes carefully there and there. There's a stud just to the right of that, just to the left of this. So there's a stud right here. I'm assuming there's another stud right here in the middle. So I'm going to cut a small hole here where I can reach in and see if there's any wires in there that I have to be careful not to cut. The other issue is that really the best way to make this cut is to use a skill saw, set the blade real shallow, and just rip across like that. The problem is we're inside here, we live here, we got all our stuff in here. A skill saw would create a huge amount of dust, which would be bad enough here in the kitchen. But over there in the living room, we got all of our cloth, recliners and couches, and we got Elizabeth's piano and all that. And we do not want to get dust in all of that. So instead of using a skill saw, I'm going to have to use a Sawzall. Now this is going to be much messier cut. I just can't go zipping. It's done. It's going to be kind of a little bit jagged, but that doesn't matter because it's going to be covered with molding. It's going to be more precise than a skill saw would, but it's going to hopefully create a whole lot less dust. So I'm going to try that in here first in the kitchen where the dust isn't quite as critical as it is in there where there's the piano and all that. So I'm just going to cut a little hole in here, see what kind of dust it creates, see if I can find any wires back in there. This is always nerve-wracking when you're doing this because I don't know what's back there. Only way to find out is to cut a hole. Now this is paneling, and I'm pretty sure there's something behind it, either sheetrock or lath and plaster. I don't know which. This house was built in 1970, so it could be either one because that's right about the time they were making the transition. So I'll just start cutting a small hole here and see what happens. How about if I drill a hole first? That'll make it a lot easier. Huh. Okay, I can feel in here, right to the stud, and there's no wire there, that's good. And then I go this way, and I expected there to be another stud here, but there isn't. I can reach all the way down, at least as far as I can go, right there. No stud, no wire. Okay, the stud runs down here, and there's a wire there that comes up the inside of the stud and then goes through right about here. So I'm going to have to be careful of that. It's just about like this. Other than that, this whole thing is completely empty, and it really surprises me that there's a gap that wide without a stud in the middle. This is a bearing wall. Eight and 5/8. So there's a double or a triple stud right here to act as a post to help support this. Four and a quarter. 3/8 inch sheetrock behind it. Got to be careful of this wire that's right here. I think that'll do a lot in helping the heat to come through. And here's that wire right there. Have to be careful with that. I'm just going to have to leave that in place. I think that just comes up to here. I can probably just pull it through, but I'm just going to leave it there. All right, there we go. Huge increase in airflow. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so I drilled this hole here before I made that cut so that I could get this little notch to fit around this wire right here. Looks like it's going to work perfectly. Now when I cut this hole, I ended up with this side a ½ inch lower than that side. So I'm going to have to trim it off. Also, you probably can't see from the angle of the camera, but this isn't straight. It kind of goes like this a little bit. So I'm going to have to recut this ½ inch higher. And hopefully straight this time with the level on it. Now I'm going to cut this with this jigsaw. Unfortunately, the only blade that I have for it is a metal cutting hacksaw with very tiny teeth. I might have to go to the store and get a wood cutting saw, but we'll try this first. This is just sheetrock and a little bit of paneling, so hopefully it'll work all right. Now, it's cutting very slow and the teeth are filling with sheetrock dust. I'm going to have to go get another blade. Okay, so now I got a better blade with bigger teeth right there. My saw won't fit behind the flue. Won't fit back there. What am I going to do? So I've got this one little strip from here to here where the saw won't fit behind the flue. So I'm going to have to try to cut it with a knife. Got to go through a paneling and then sheetrock. This is a pain. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't as bad as I expected. I've also got this part right here where the sheetrock's sticking out past the stud. I got to clean that up, cut it flush with the stud so that the quarter round or the outside molding will fit on there. Okay, so I've got this wire here that you can see. It's kind of awkward there, but hopefully once I paint it, it'll just kind of blend in. But what I'm going to do is take some wood putty and fill in this hole right here to make it a little bit less obvious. This is a plastic wood filler, and it's pretty amazing to me that it dries in about 15 minutes. So I'll put this on here and then sand it. After it's dry, I'll sand it down, and then I can paint it. And it should pretty much make that hole disappear, although of course the wire is still there. Okay. Now, we have this doorway right here, and this is painted the same color as the wall, and then it's got the white trim on it. I'm going to be doing the same thing over here, painting this to match the wall and then putting the trim on it. This color is called Livable Green by Valspar, and we didn't have any more Livable Green, and I didn't want to go buy another gallon or even a big quart of it because I only need this much. The cool thing is at Lowe's you can buy sample paints. So if you want to put a patch of paint on the wall and put another different color patch of paint on the wall to decide the color before you buy a gallon or more, you can buy sample paints. So we went and bought this little sample of Livable Green, and it's only like $5 or something like that, and that'll be enough to paint this whole thing. So I think this is a cool idea.
It's Sherwin-Williams, sweetheart.
Okay, Elizabeth just said this is Sherwin-Williams, but on here it says Valspar.
Huh?
They just put it in a different container.
Yeah, I guess so.
So anyway, it's Sherwin-Williams Livable Green.
It's been very livable.
Yeah, she says it's been very livable. Okay, so you can still see this wire, obviously, but painting it the same color as the wall tends to make it disappear where it's not as obvious. You can still look at it and see it, but it's not going to just kind of catch your eye like, oh, something's out of place here. It blends in. So I have been working off camera to get these trim pieces fit because it was tedious, so I didn't record it. But I've got them all ready to go all the way around. But I can't fasten them in yet because I'm also going to put a shelf across here. And it goes in here like this. And this is going to have to be notched around the shelf. So I wanted to get them cut to size before I put the shelf in because it'd be a little harder to figure it out with the shelf in place. But now I can put the shelf in. After that's done, then I can make a little notch there so it'll go in there and fit properly. We debated about whether to just leave this open or put it in a shelf. We decided to put in one shelf, just put little knickknacks on there and it might look a little bit more, I don't know, finished or something. So that's the plan. I cut the notch right here. It only goes in a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch. Yeah. So I'll cut that notch out with this little coping saw right here. Okay, here's that little notch, and it fits right in there. Perfect. There it goes. Okay, this side is finished. Now I just have to do the same thing on the other side. I'm not going to film it because it's the same thing. All right, I'm all finished putting it together, so all I have to do now is just cover up the nail holes with paint. And these are small enough that I shouldn't have to put any wood putty in them. Just the paint will be enough to fill them. Okay, it is now finished. I really like the finished look. Looks like it actually belongs. I've painted all the nail holes and all that, covered that up. Of course, you can still see the wire there, but because it's painted the same color, it tends to blend in a little bit. So this is going to allow much more heat from the fireplace to get up into the kitchen through there.
Hey, I really like it, hon.
Yeah. If we need a little bit more help getting the heat in there, we can just get a small fan, set it right here, and blowing into the kitchen. And that should take care of it.
In fact, if we wanted, we could actually have some kind of a fan where you could even blow just a little bit of an angle down the hall. So it's going to do two things. One is get more heat evenly distributed into the kitchen dining area and into the back of the house. And it'll also help get a little bit of the real good intense heat out of the living room.
Yeah, it won't be 90 in here. It'll only be 85.
Yeah. We are going to go ahead and just set a few things in there. I love this little sculpture. I've always loved the lion and the lamb. The Bible actually says that the lamb will lay down with the wolf. But this just to me represents Jesus as the Lion of Judah and as the Lamb of God. And so I love that. I'm going to put it right here. It sets right exactly in there. And then here is a Nana, grandma with 2 grandkids. I love this. So that's going to go right here. And then we got this Stein in Germany, and we think it's so pretty. It's just a classic beer stein. So that's going to go up right here. Just adds a little something to it.
Makes it look like it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, we really wanted to be sure we still had a fire blanket really close since it is a wood stove, although we do have a really good fire protection against the wall and on the floor, but we were able to go ahead and hang the fire blanket here. So appreciate this wood stove. It's really been great.
Yep, it works. It just works great in the winter, especially if the power's out. We have no problem heating the house.
Yeah.
And this is going to help immensely.
Yes, I'm really thrilled. We've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Yeah, I've actually had this in mind for quite a few years, but I thought it was going to be much more complicated than it was because I thought I was going to have other studs exposed. I thought about taking out this post, but if I did, then I would have to redo the whole header all the way across. And finally, I just thought, heck with all that. I'm just going to put a small hole right there. It turned out to be very quick, very easy. I was very happy with it.
Yeah, I think it's going to really improve the efficiency of the wood stove.
Yep.
And it looks cool.
Yep, it does. So, there you go. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, live simple.
Live free. You be blessed.
Yes, we love you guys, and we will see you soon. We love you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.